me, the Great What If here, back again with a new special. Yes, sir. Thanks for 100 subscribers. This is going to be a 100 subscriber special. I am so happy that you guys love my What If series, and I am trying to see if I can expand that universe of mine. And yeah, now let's get on to the new video, our new tale. Now, Izuku, this is going to be a what if Izuku was Dyrroth from Mobile Legends. And if you guys played that game, you'll know this character very well. He is the Prince of Darkness, the Abyss himself, Dyrroth. So, this is going to play off a little different from a little bit of what ifs. And for the person who suggested me, like, what if Deku was a demon, I'll put his name in the description below. So please go sub to him. It'll mean so much for me. And yeah, let's continue. Now, we start the story off as Izuku being born. And Izuku, his family is there and everything. And Inko, she still has her quirk. And Hasashi is going to have his fire-breathing quirk. Nothing's going to change. Hasashi's not going to leave them from his life. And yeah. Once Hasashi and Inko, they're so happy that Izuku, like, in their life, and they think he's gonna be a great ass hero. He's gonna be the best of the best. And he was the primal joy of everyone. Even freaking Bakugo. Bakugo is like at least 4 years older than Izuku. That's why I'm gonna make him, so he's gonna be a little bit more older. And Bakugo, he's happy that he has a cousin. Since Mitsuki is an aunt, I think, of Midoriya. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure of anything, actually. So, one night when Izuku was sleeping in his crib, something evil happened. Like a dark force surrounded the whole house. Once their prideful house, full of joy and laughter, became silent in darkness. And you can just hear Inko screams. Hasashi going down, using his quirk and everything. Something is happening. Then you just hear silence. Izuku, he's in his crib, sleeping, and then someone opened the door to his room. They're walking in. And it's All For One. Yes, I am saying that, the real All For One, the one with the whole helmet and everything. Yes, him. And accompanied by him is Kirigiri. Because, hell, he wanted Izuku's quirk. And so All For One kills Hasashi and Inko. So he went to go and steal Izuku's quirk. But it's different. He can't steal it, no matter how hard he try. So he tells Kirigiri to take Izuku. And once this whole thing happened, Bakugo, he went to go and visit Inko and everyone and try to see Izuku, since he wants to spend more time with him. But once he opened the door, he could see that it was a forced entry and noticed scratch marks on the door. And a huge spike go through it. So he slowly opens the door and sees Inko and Hasashi there, both with their stomach pierced, dead. And Bakugo, he yells and screams, like, ah! And just yells. And Mitsuki, she runs towards Bakugo because she heard the screams, and just goes and runs to ask what's wrong. And she just looks inside like, oh my god. She doesn't know what to say. She quickly yells to her husband, to call the police and everyone here. So All Might, he gets there, and a couple heroes as well, and a few detectives. And All Might, he's seen this quirk before, since he fought with One For All, and it still has the whole bruise and everything. And he noticed this quirk, and he thinks to himself, "What is this all for one? No. Why would he be here?" And he looks and sees two dead bodies that are covered up in blanket by now, and there's a whole crime scene and everything. Some of the detectives comes up to All Might and says, "Sir, please leave the premises. I know that you're here and all, but this is a detective's work." And All Might sighs and says, "All right, I'll leave this work up to you." And he jumps off. Bakugo, he asks the officers are there if is Izuku there? Is freaking his friend, is he there? And they look around the house and notice there's not, but he notices a crib. So he put one of the officers detectives point out that there was a crib here, so there must be a baby around here. So they go and look around and see if they can find it, but no luck. So they put two together and says maybe someone broke in and took the child. Do we know who the child's name is? And Bakugo just says, it's Izuku Midoriya. And for this one, I'm not gonna make Bakugo an ass, because this is when freaking Bakugo was looking forward to having a friend, another friend, even though he's young than Bakugo. And the detectives say, well, there's no more clues here. Whoever did this, they were clean. Well, maybe they have a teleportation quirk. Maybe he's working with other two people. I'm not really sure. And Bakugo, he's clenching his fists and all, and he promises to bring Izuku back, and he will become a better hero and find him. Now we're coming back to Izuku. He's in this bar, and Kirigiri is holding Izuku, and Izuku's crying. And All for One says, I really don't want to take care of a fucking kid, but his quirk is interesting. If we can take him back to our side, then we'll be unstoppable. And Kirigiri says, Master, I agree with this and all, but what shall I do with the child? And friggin' All for One says, well, since you're not doing that much around here, I suggest you take care of him. And Kiryu was like, what? Take care of this kid? I don't know how to parent. Well, Shigaraki's your master, right? And he just stays quiet and says, yeah. Then, if you know how to take care of Shigaraki, then you should know how to take care of him. And All for One just points at the child, Izuku. And Kirigiri, he's now holding Izuku in the arms and saying, yes, master, if it's your wish, I shall do so. So Kirigiri is now, quote unquote, Izuku's new father. Well, yeah, father. And Izuku, it's been now, let's see, so Bakugo would be 17. So I'm gonna say that U8 is gonna be a college. So yeah. So Bakugo, when it's called, Izuku is at the age of 5, and Bakugo is at the age of 5 years plus 4, it'll be 9. So Bakugo was 9 and Izuku is 4. And Izuku, he just discovered his quirk, and Kirigiri is teaching Izuku how to channel his quirk. And his quirk is Abyss. So he can conjure up darkness from his hands and explosions, just like Bakugo, but to more of an extent. And Izuku, he's laughing hysterical. And Izuku looks at Kirigiri and says, Dad, look, my quirk is just like yours. And Kirigiri, he's at this point acting like a parent, and he says, "My boy, you're gonna be a great villain." And Izuku is he's being taught how to fight and everything, and Shigaraki, he grown accustomed with Izuku, and Izuku's getting more and more dangerous, to the point where his quirk is getting out of control. So Kirigiri told All For One about this, so All For One, he told the doctor to create something to he can channel his energy into it. So Quark Doctor says, yes sir, but he needs to have them at the age of 10 at least. So Izuku's keep on practicing, and he knows martial arts, and Kirigiri's helping Izuku along the way. And more at the age of 10, and Izuku, and what's called Bakugo is the age of 10 now. No, not 10, 14. So he's in high school, and Bakugo, he's still trying to find where Izuku is, since he still misses Izuku, and just all in all just wants to find him. Some of the heroes are trying to find Izuku, but they just stopped 5 years ago, since they thought the case went cold and Izuku probably died. This caused friggin' Bakugo to get mad and says, "You are not real heroes. A real hero will never stop. You'll continue." And he's just crying. And heroes just look at what's called Bakugo and says, "I'm sorry, kid, but we can't do nothing." And this hurts what's called Bakugo, and he made a vow to himself that he will find Izuku, and he will be a better hero than these cheap ass losers. So he has this mindset of finding Izuku. Then we cut back to Izuku. He's learning more martial arts until his quirk got out of control. So his quirk is so powerful that his whole room is enveloped by darkness and abyss. And he's just repeating to himself, "Must serve the abyss. Everyone will be under my control, and there will be no one to stop me. Right, Dad?" And he just looks at Kirigiri, and Kirigiri just gets a little scared, but he just says, "Yeah, son, no one will stop you." And at this point, Izuku, he has horns growing out of him, just like in the picture right here. And the quirk doctor, he can't evaluate Izuku's quirk senses a little bit out of control, so he made this gear of him, just like in the picture. He imbued these rings with what's called sharp edges, enough to he can channel enough of his darkness to imbue it. So once the doctor gave these rings to All For One. All For One thinks, yes, this will do nicely. And doctor says, "Oh, and also this." He gave All For One a little crystal. And All For One says, "What is this?" And the doctor says, "Well, he will need to concentrate long and hard enough, but he will be able to channel all of his energy into that what's called crystal. And we can convert that energy into more than just what Izuku is. Izuku, he's a good specimen." And All For One just cuts him out and says, "No, we're not making him into a Nomu. Alright? Just get the other kids from the orphanage or whatever." And doctor is he's displeased, but he understands. And says, "Alright, All For One." And All For One just says, "Don't give me that sass, alright?" Sighs, I grew more enjoyment to this kid. And Izuku just comes in and says, "Hello, uncle." And All For One says, "Hello, Izuku. I have a gift for you." And Izuku's whole aura goes around the whole room. and envelops that room with darkness. And it's just all for one and him there. So Izuku just says, "What kind of gift? Is it something good?" And Izuku's chuckling. And All For One just uses one of his quirks to make those rings of his own gifts and hands them to Izuku. And Izuku says, "What is this?" "Your new equipment. I made them especially for you." And Izuku, he grabs a crystal and says, where did I put this?" And All For One just says, "Put it in your chest." And he did. He placed it on his chest, and then it started to melt. And Izuku screaming in pain. He says, "What is this?" And he's screaming out in pain. And then later, the rings started to float and head towards Izuku. And all the rings head to, one of the rings goes to his arm, the other one to his arm, other one to his leg, and the other one. So it just looks like this in the picture. And Izuku's eyes start glowing, dark and enveloped with red. So his left eye is fully enveloped in darkness, and his freaking pupil is red, and his right side is fully purple or pinkish. I'm not really sure. And Izuku, he's laughing and slowly gets up. "This feels amazing. I shall serve the abyss. Everyone will be under my control." And All For One is laughing and says, "You're right, kid. Everyone will be under your control." And if you don't know, All For One is thinking if he could pass All For One to Izuku. And Izuku, he's maniacally laughing, and he just says, "This world is always in chaos. Not chaos, sorry. This world's always in chaos and destruction. That's the only thing for hope. Under my rule, that will only exist. Hope shall become darkness and destruction. Everyone will fear me." And Shiragi says, "Oi, Izuku, let's go. We have work to do." And Izuku says, "Alright, brother." And just maniacally laughing. Now, this run ended up, guys. Thank you so much for getting me over 100 subscribers. And yeah, until next time, my little friends of mine, goodbye.